If we have any chairman, they need to come on up to the front of the line. Now, Mr. Williams, Mr. Al Williams, we can do this one of two ways. You know, tomorrow, Monday is Valentine's Day. I can show my love to the committee and put 4 or 5 bills on Monday, or I got about 20 for Monday. And I don't want to be here till 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock Monday night. So I'm going to try to show my love to the committee and only have about 4 or 5. Is that okay? 2. I don't love you that much. Mr. Jackson, would you open us with prayer, please, sir? Okay, y'all hold on. We're getting started.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come before you, we ask for your wisdom, your guidance, your mercy, and your grace, Lord God, as we go before you and we enact the business of the people of the great state of Georgia. We thank you, for you said you never leave us nor forsake us, and we thank you that you're right here with us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we need to get Miss Taylor. All right, let's go. What's your bill number?
Bill number is 1182. I'm working off of LC 471495. This is a bill that has to do with just Grady County. Over 60 years ago, they started a project to build Tired Creek, which they have done, and now it's time to develop it. And one of the legal issues in it had to be clarified, so the county attorney has asked me to bring this bill to clarify it so that they will be able to develop it. Any questions? I'll be happy to answer.
Okay. I don't see any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all take note on how quick she was, which is the way it all should be. 60 seconds max.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. Chairman
speak
Chokas.
fast. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I bring before you House Bill 918 LC 3389990S. This bill simply creates the Georgia Rare Disease Advisory Council. A rare disease is defined as a disease that affects fewer than 200,000 people in the United States. There are more than 7,000 known rare diseases affecting approximately 25 to 30 million Americans, and more than half of which are children. A state-based advisory council composed of qualified professionals, persons living with rare diseases, and their caregivers could educate medical professionals, government agencies, legislators, and the public about rare diseases as an important public health issue and encourage research into the development of new ways to diagnose and treat rare diseases. I am not aware of any opposition to this legislation, as a matter of fact. Yes, sir.
Do you operate on a South Georgia clock or what?
I timed it. I'm a minute and a half.
Hold on a second. I see any questions for the gentleman?
Thank you.
All right, seeing none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chairman Lumsden, what's your bill number?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, bring you House Bill 1021. It's on the front page, page 1, toward the bottom under modified structure. This is a bill that deals with insurance-based deferred annuity contracts. When an applicant terminates an annuity contract before the term of the contracts are met, he's due a cash settlement. Part of that formula for giving that cash settlement is a 1% rate of interest, which is stated in code. However, the growth of the annuity products are tied to the 5 and 10-year Treasury notes, which have been performing at like about 0.19%. So this bill is an NAIC model legislation that addresses the problem caused by the historic lows in the 5 and 10-year Treasury, and it changes the minimum to 0.15.
Okay, let me see who I can call on to ask a question. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to call him Bruce. He understands it. Okay. Thank you, sir. I don't see any questions.
I have one other, sir. If you
okay, go ahead.
That's House Bill 1195. This is a bill that deals with it's on page 2, next to last. This deals with annual financial audits and reporting requirements for interlocal risk management agencies. The only two interlocal risk management agencies are ACCG and GMA. For years, they have been filing a report that's required to the Insurance Commissioner's Office using a statutory accounting principles, but the law calls for them to use a general accounting principles. The Insurance Commissioner's Office is fine with making this change. This bill simply provides the option for them to continue doing what they've been doing as far as how they file and use statutory reporting principles for their reports.
Okay, I don't see any questions now either. Okay, thank you, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gaines.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1010, which is toward third from the bottom on the front page, it would create the Classic Center Authority as a state authority. The local authority would remain in place. All the existing bonds will remain with the local authority, but would create a state authority. Happy to answer any questions.
No questions. Thank you, sir. Hold on. Yeah, we do. Speaker Pro Tem.
My question is, why do we need this?
So it would offer an opportunity for a partnership with the state if the state, basically it would open up that opportunity. The mayor and commission have agreed, our local legislative delegation bipartisan has agreed on it. The Classic Center is building an arena, and I'm sure we've all been to the Classic Center in Athens for the biennial this last, I guess, November, December. But if the state were to want to be a partner in that, it would open that opportunity in the future.
Yes, ma'am.
Second question. So, in other words, this is to facilitate them asking the state for money.
What's that?
Is this is to facilitate them asking the state for future money?
It would only be in the future, that's right. So it only costs any money if there's appropriations in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Are you finished yet? Okay, Mr.
Good morning.
Prince,
Thank you, Mr.
House
Chairman.
Bill 585.
This should be the first one on the list on the front page. This basically is a revenue sharing license tag with members of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. The tag is already out there. This is just catching up. Now we've sold enough tags that we can do the revenue sharing portion of it.
Okay, we don't see any questions. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bonner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bring House Bill 1. It's the first under modified structure rule. It's appropriately titled. It's a First Amendment protection measure, applies to our public colleges and universities. It protects what our students can say and where they can say it.
Okay. I don't see any questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Earhart.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, I bring before you House Bill 1028, which is the last bill on page 1. HB 1028 sets forth the new district lines for the Cobb County Board of Education. The map achieves the goals of local control, legal compliance, equal representation, and the stability of the 7 Board of Education posts and the district as a whole. The local Board of Education voted to accept this map after requesting that the drawing of the map do accomplish 3 things. 1, compliance with the federal Constitution. 2, compliance with the Georgia Constitution. And 3, compliance with the Voting Rights Act. I request your favorable consideration.
Okay, I got a question. Mr. Wilkerson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You look
Now
right over
remember,
here.
this is not a place for debate. It's
Correct.
Okay.
Just 2 questions. You mentioned this was passed by the local school board and local control. Can you tell me of any other bills that have gone through this general bill process if it's about local control?
I can't speak to other bills. I can only speak to this one.
Okay. Second question. You said it passed over with the school board. Can you tell me the breakdown of that vote at the school board and the local level that approved these maps?
What do you mean, the breakdown?
Okay, let me rephrase that. Is it not true that this passed at the local level in a divisive vote, 4-3, with Republicans voting yes and Democrats voting no?
That may be the case. It passed out of the Board of Education with a majority vote, 4-3.
Thank you.
Mr. Setzler.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for the lady. Isn't it true this purported local bill process, as proposed by the gentleman and proposed by a map he might have supported, did not have the ability to pass through our local delegation rules? That in fact there's not a majority support for his supported map, both in the House and the Senate, so that the idea that local process is the appropriate process is just factually not true.
You are absolutely correct. In the absence of consensus on this bill coming through as a general bill followed the appropriate path.
Okay, we're not going to take any more questions. We could be here for hours on that particular. You'll have a chance to debate on the House floor, or if you have other issues, you're going to have a chance to speak with the sponsor of the bill prior to it making it to the House floor. My goodness, Mr. Gamble.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. House Bill 1059 on the back page, 2 down from the top. This will allow insurers and agents to offer loss mitigation products and also make charitable contributions of under $100 on behalf of customers. It comes from the National Association of Insurance Commissioners model law, and also the National Council of Insurance Legislators has a similar model act. And that's basically what the bill does. And these loss mitigation products are like water leak detectors, smoke detectors, those types of things.
Currently, I don't think you can, insurance agent can even give a $1.50 yardstick away.
That's right. Yes,
So
sir.
this will allow them to give a smoke detector.
Yes, sir. It's
Okay.
and the Department of Insurance would still regulate this. It would be under their purview, and this would not be considered rebating, which, as you know, is strictly prohibited under the law.
That's right. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
No more. Mr. Lim.
Good morning. I have 2 bills for the committee's consideration. I will start with House Bill 725, which is under modified structured rule. What House Bill 725 aims to do is to ensure that our state's Council on American Indian Concerns has representation from our 3 state-recognized tribes. We were also hoping, and I know Chairman Mayfack has spoken to Chairman Smith and Chairman Jaspers, to introduce a rule substitute, because we also discovered after the committee that the codification of one of the addresses for the Georgia Tribe of Eastern Cherokee is currently incorrect. The P.O. box is incorrect, and that is a clerical error that needs to be corrected.
Anyone have a question for the gentleman? Okay, say none. What's your next one?
I have House Bill 1131. That is at the top of the first page under modified open rule. What House Bill 113 does is to establish a special funds overview committee by which the legislature would be able to garner information on these large federal funds like ARPA, the infrastructure bill, and it would provide a measure of local access to that information, since we as legislators have the closest access to the taxpayers of ours who are paying into these funds.
Okay. Well, don't see any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodness. Mr. Crow, I haven't seen you here this year. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, I have House Bill 657, it's middle of the ways down the front of the page. This bill simply aims to add parity to the sworn law enforcement officers of the Department of Public Safety. It includes the Motor Carrier Compliance Division, Capitol Police Division, sworn law enforcement officers, giving them the same retirement benefits and same line of duty disability benefits as the State Patrol, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation officers, officers of the DNR, and agents of the Department of Revenue alcohol and tobacco officers.
Oh, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really didn't know they weren't included. Can you just quickly, why weren't they included previously?
Well, sir, from my understanding, this was a long time ago when for the Motor Carrier Compliance Division, when they were moved over from DOT in 2005 to the Department of Public Safety, their retirement benefits weren't changed to match what the Georgia State Patrol was when they became a member of that department.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, anybody on the floor got something? Okay, Mr. Parrish.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the first page, about 2/3 down, House Bill 963. That's just the annual drug update bill we do each year for drugs and narcotics.
Okay, any questions, raise your hand. All right, seeing none, thank you, sir. Mr. Williams, you finished, right? Yes, sir. Okay, 40, who's 42? Chairman Illustration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the back page, HB 1134, middle part of the page, 1134, this would allow the Attorney General concurrent jurisdiction to prosecute gang crimes. Would ask for your favorable consideration.
Okay, anyone have a question, raise your hand. All right, thank you, sir. Chairman Dempsey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the back page, third down, HB 1086, this is a permissive bill to help hospitals offer flu vaccines at age 50 and older to be in compliance with CDC guidelines. It has changed from 65 to 50, and so this simply, you can reject that, you can accept it, but it helps us keep Georgia healthier during flu season.
It's just an offer.
It is an offer, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any questions, raise your hand. All right, seeing none. Chairman Parrish, you got another question? Okay, let me turn you off then. Mr. Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First page, fourth from the bottom, HB 1008. In 2016, this body passed the ABIL legislation which established 529 accounts, savings accounts for the disabled. That's both mentally and physical disabilities. Prior to this, they would lose any disability benefits if they had asset values of over $2,000. This allowed them to save in the 529 account. It established a ABLE board to run this. These accounts were established in Ohio, joining with other states because of administrative costs borne by the family themselves. This bill today moves this back to Georgia, these accounts back to Georgia. It folds the ABLE board into the Higher Education Savings Plan Board. There are two different accounts. They'll be running two accounts, one Path to College and one for ABLE. It will make this this more economically feasible for the disabled and also increase the visibility of this plan in this state.
Okay, any questions, raise your hand. All right, okay. Chairman Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the back page, I have House Bill 1092. It's the Georgia Women's Care Act. This is about pregnant women that are going to be in our penal institutions. To say that being in prison is one of the, it's not a good place for women to be is understated. Women that are incarcerated have the highest infant mortality record, and already half of the women that are pregnant have COVID, which adds to the complications. This allows a judge to make a decision to postpone the time when a woman would go in and start serving their sentence till 6 weeks after delivery. It's not a get out of jail card. There are lots of things a woman has to do, like get prenatal care, check in and all with the system in order to be allowed to do this if the judge wants them to do that and feels like they won't be a danger to themselves or anybody else in their communities.
Okay.
Our prison people are doing the best they can do, but it's not a good situation, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have a question? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, House Bill 1192 would allow the department to ask for a waiver for CMS to move about 3,500 HIV positive people into our Medicaid system. We already do that for people that have active AIDS. We are not, the system that they're under now we are running out of money. The Department of Public Health thinks this will save them $58 billion. They are continually having to come to the legislature and ask for money to cover the cost the way they're handling it now.
Any questions? Raise your hand. Yeah. Chairman Cooper, tell me how you did something. Your first bill was 1092 and your second bill was 1192.
How did I do that?
How'd you do that?
Oh, it's magic.
Magic, okay. Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Mr. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, I bring you House, I have two of these. And the first one is House Resolution 664, which is by sub, and this is our annual conveyance of state properties. And the other one, Mr. Chairman and members, is House Resolution 683, which is our granting of non-exclusive easements for the state. And Mr. Chairman, all the members that are affected by either the easements or the conveyances have been notified.
Oh, okay. Thanks, sir. Any questions for the gentleman? Seeing none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Setzler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Carson's in the Senate presenting a bill, so on behalf of Chairman Carson and the co-sponsor, wanted to ask for HB 1154, which is the apportionment of Cobb County Board of Commissioners.
Okay. Chairman Carson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Just as Chairman Sessler mentioned, House Bill 1154 provides for the reapportionment of the Cobb County commissioners, commission districts. That's all it really does.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Well, seeing none. All right. First order of business, I need a motion to recommit Senate Bill 330 to insurance. Got a move and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay, it's done. Okay, let's set the calendar for Valentine's Day. Okay, let's do first on the list. Let's do House Bill 963. Do I hear a move? Got a move and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. It's on. House Bill 1028. Do I hear a move? Got a move and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Did anybody say no? Okay, got 2, 3. Okay, it's on. All right. House Bill 1089. Do I hear a move? Got a move and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. It's on. Okay, House Bill 1134. Do I hear a move? Got a move and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. It's on. Okay, House Bill 1154. Do I hear a move? Got a move and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay, it's on. All right. What's that? Oh, that's enough, right? Okay. Since it is Valentine, Vice Chair Ballinger has a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to House Rule 33.3, I move for debate to be limited to no longer than 1 hour on all legislation, time to be allocated at the discretion of the Speaker.
Okay, got a move and a second. Hold on a second. Ms. Hughley.
Mr. Chairman, I thought Valentine signifies love. I thought you were going to give us some love bills that everybody was going to be in agreement on. What happened to the love?
Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor to limit the debate for Monday for 1 hour, and we got a move and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Well, getting back to Valentine's. I've got a potential of 12 bills for Monday, and I don't think y'all want to do that. So we're going to do 5. Now, those 5 would have been also part of the 12 or so, plus one more that's floating around. So I'm going to show a lot of love. So we're going to adjourn, and we will see y'all Monday morning at 9 o'clock.